One variable. That is all it takes to rewrite the fate of a planet, to dismantle history, and to reinvent the very essence of what it means to be human. For 4 billion years, Earth has danced with a single partner, a solitary silver orb that governed our tides, our calendars, and our myths. We have built our entire civilization around this one predictable companion, assuming the universe owed us this celestial stability. But in this reality, the sky is crowded. In this reality, there are two. Imagine standing on a prehistoric shoreline, looking up at the twilight of a world that never was. You see the familiar face of our moon, large and pale, but beside it, a second companion hangs in the void, a smaller, jagged satellite glowing with a faint, ghostly blue tint, captured by Earth's gravity in the violent chaos of the distant past. This is not merely a beautiful sight for poets to admire. It is a gravitational sledgehammer, a catalyst for geological and social chaos that shatters the timeline we know. From the moment this second moon, let us call it Lilith, entered our orbit, the rules of life on Earth were fundamentally rewritten. The first and most devastating shift is physical. Gravity is a relentless, invisible architect, and with 2 moons, the rhythmic breathing of our oceans becomes a violent, unpredictable turbulence. In our world, the moon creates a predictable bulge in the seas, the tides. But in a binary system, the tug-of-war is constant and erratic. Lilith and the moon would rarely align, their combined gravitational poles creating monumental surges followed by chaotic whirlpools where the water seems to boil in place. The height of the waves would triple. Coastal civilizations, the very cradles of humanity, like Alexandria, Carthage, or Venice, could never establish deep roots. In this timeline, the sea is not a highway, it is a hungry, shifting graveyard. Humanity is forced miles inland, building empires on high plateaus and within the continental hearts, forever looking at the coastlines as forbidden zones of death. Our relationship with the planet's water is defined not by exploration, but by a profound ancestral fear. As the centuries pass, the light of the twin moons begins to alter the very biology of our world. In our history, the night is a curtain of darkness, a time for rest and the unknown. But here, a true new moon, a night of total darkness, is a rare astronomical miracle. Most nights, the sky is flooded by at least one of the sisters. When both are full, the world is transformed into a surreal, silvery twilight where you could read a manuscript in the middle of a desert at midnight. This eternal light changes the fabric of evolution itself. The predator-prey relationships honed over millions of years are discarded. Nocturnal animals do not rely on stealth or shadows. They develop complex, shimmering camouflage to blend into the double lunar glow. And humans? Our circadian rhythms, tied for eons to the rise and fall of the sun, are fractured. We become a species that never truly sleeps in silence. We evolve to sleep in short, intense bursts, living in a 24-hour cycle of constant activity. The concept of a working day never takes root. Labor, art, and the machinery of war continue under the twin moons without pause or respite. The culture of this humanity is a mirror of their crowded sky. Monotheism struggles to find fertile ground in a world where the heavens clearly show 2 masters. Ancient religions are built on duality, the twin sisters, the mother and the daughter, the hunter and the healer. Myths are not about a lonely goddess, but about the eternal conflict and dance between the satellites. Great wars are timed not by the changing of seasons, but by the syzygy, the rare moments when the 2 moons align or eclipse one another. These moments of true dark are seen as times of cosmic terror, when the eyes of the gods are closed. Empires rise and fall based on lunar cycles far more complex than our own. And astrology is not a superstition, but a high science of survival used to predict the devastating floods that can wipe out an entire province in a single night. Strangely, this environmental chaos leads to an acceleration of the human mind. With two celestial bodies to observe, ancient astronomers are forced to grapple with the laws of gravity and orbital mechanics centuries earlier than in our timeline. The mathematics of three-body problems, which challenged the greatest minds of our 18th century, are mastered by the equivalent of the ancient Greeks. The Renaissance happens in what we would call the Dark Ages. By the time our world was discovering gunpowder, the inhabitants of this Earth are already mastering steam and calculus to predict the movements of their restless skies. A binary moon system provides a literal stepping stone to the cosmos. Space travel is not a distant dream of the mid-20th century, it is an industrial necessity. To understand the tides and stop the flooding of their cities, they had to reach the moons. The first moon is a practice run. The second moon is the prize that unites a fractured humanity under a single scientific goal. But nature always exacts a price for such progress. A second moon adds significant mass to the Earth-Moon system, creating immense tidal flexing within the Earth's very core. The interior of the planet stays hotter, more fluid, and far more violent. Volcanic activity is 30% more frequent, and the Earth is restless, shaking with moonquakes every time the two satellites align. We do not build soaring spires of glass and steel that reach for the clouds. Instead, our architecture is heavy, low, and deep. Fortresses built to withstand the shifting of a planet that refuses to be still. The aesthetic of this world is of brutalist resilience. Every city is a bunker. Every bridge is a feat of massive engineering designed to survive the shifting Earth. As we reach the modern era of this alternate timeline, the night sky is a crowded, busy place. Our satellites must navigate a complex gravitational web, dodging the ancient debris caught between the twin companions. Yet, despite the geological violence, we are a more unified species. We had to be. To survive the towering tides and the shaking ground, humanity could not afford the luxury of petty borders and isolated nations. We were forced to build together or drown alone. We are defined by what we see when we look up. Our sky is twice as bright, twice as dangerous, and twice as beautiful as the one you know. We are the children of the twin moons, a civilization born in light, forever reaching for a darkness we have never truly experienced. Now look at your own sky. See the single, lonely moon hanging there in the silence. It seems peaceful, does it not? But if you had lived in the world of the binary tide, you would find our night terrifyingly empty. If you stood on the shore of a crashing, double-tide ocean, watching the silver light dance on waves 50 feet high, which moon would you name your home? And would you trade our quiet, lonely night for their crowded, magnificent sky? The variable has been changed. The world has been rewritten. And as the twin moons set over the horizon of this parallel Earth, we realize that perhaps in our own world, we were the ones living in the dark all along.